and welcome to the Double Fault Podcast. Today is Saturday, January 25th, and Coach Jeremy, we have a final on our hands. Number one seed Jannik Sinner, defending Australian Open champion, versus number two seed Sascha Zverev. Is this the two best players in the world? I'm not sure we know the answer to that yet, but either way, we have them both here. Zverev, we were hyping up the match against Djokovic. Unfortunately, Novak wasn't fit enough to get through that. Had to retire after a close first set. Sinner, on the other hand, took care of Ben like kind of we expected, even though Ben had couple chances to make that a match. But let's go into the first match of the semifinals. What did you see out of Djokovic and Zverev? And unfortunately, only one set between them.
Well, we were actually doing a watch along on the X Spaces page, right? And we were going. I was going on my tangents, and we were in the tiebreaker, and we locked in. We were watching it, and then Zverev took it, some quality points. Nobody really giving too many inches, etc. And then you were like, "Wait, what? Why are they shaking hands?" Like, I was like, "Wait, what?"
Like
And
out of
sure enough,
nowhere. Oh, here we go.
uh,
Jeremy set point, Sasha.
yeah, come on.
Oh my God! Did you see that? How how did he
Oh,
miss that volley? Why are they shaking hands?
dude, I love that you're like 5 seconds ahead of me, but it's fine.
I know, that's why I was trying to wait for you to react. Wait, what?
No, no,
No,
no, no, no, no, no,
no, he's
no,
retiring.
no,
What?
no,
No way.
no.
That's the worst case scenario.
Sure enough, yeah, just all right. You won the breaker. The question does kind of persist. Like, if Djokovic had knocked off that volley, would he have called it quits there or no?
He said in the press conference that like he probably would have kept playing to see how he could have done if he won that first set. I think because like we were talking like is the whole injury concern against Alcaraz, like how that factors into his match against Sasha.
Mm.
Obviously, I don't give Novak the benefit of the doubt. That's just my biases. But
Mm.
I think he gave everything he had to beat Carlos. And then he couldn't recover in time for Sasha. And after he didn't win that first set, he saw like a grueling 3 to 4 hours on the horizon to try to overcome Zverev. And he's like,
I think
yeah,
you're
I don't
right,
got
and
that.
then
I don't got
I
that
think
in
you're
me.
right, and also he foresaw winning whatever he had to go through, and then playing Sinner. He's like, I can't do it.
Like
Like, I can't do both, or I can only do one.
we talked about the
So
gauntlet that Djokovic would have to go through to win the slam, and it would have taken a superhuman effort. So I don't think there's any knocking Djokovic. If anything, he's proved to me that he still has that top level where if his body holds up against anyone in the world, against Sinner, maybe not against Sinner, but against Alcaraz, against Zverev, he has the quality to beat him. Because even in one set against Sasha, he served 54% first serves in the first set. Djokovic's average first serve speed was 187 kilometers an hour. Zverev's
mhm.
was 207. So that's a firm 20 mile an hour or 20 kilometer an hour difference. On the second serve, Djokovic's serve speed was 146 kilometers an hour, and Zverev's was 171. So right there, in men's tennis, the serve is one of the biggest factors in the game. And Djokovic, if there couldn't be a more clear indication of how he was feeling physically, I think the service numbers tell him. That could be an indictment on Sasha that he didn't do better with how poorly Djokovic was serving. For Sasha to go over 5 on break points and not break Djokovic in that set kind of gives me a little bit of concerns going into the match against Jannik because Sinner is borderline unbreakable when he plays his best tennis. If Sasha can't break a hampered Novak, like, good luck against Sinner, dude.
That's a good point. No, I think that like we talked about Sinner and Djokovic, the way they play is very similar, although Sinner just has more MPH on his ground strokes and probably his serve. Yeah, Zverev, I think that his approach is just going to be look for his chances on the center serve, but not assume there will be. Like he wants to not get broken, and if need be, go to a tiebreaker. Will it be the first ever just only tie breaks? Or Zverev and Sinner both too good on serve that it's just 7-6, 6-7, 7-6, 7-6, like 4 sets for one player or another. Like I don't know. I think Sinner has a decent chance of breaking anyone's serve, and Zverev will be the toughest test in the game right now for Sinner to just be able to break him once or even twice in a set. But he could do it. Sinner can do anything.
And
Um,
it's Jannik's first test too of the real slam. Like, Zverev is the first person that can beat Sinner realistically. Like,
that's true.
he's never really thought like, oh, I'm not gonna win this match. I know I'm better than them. Like,
He's own Demon. He's own Shelton.
yeah,
So
Holger.
yeah,
Like,
maybe
Holger's not.
maybe a little bit of doubt creeps him for Sinner, and he's not able to produce his best when he needs it. And that can open the door for Sasha to get a set or two. Is
That's
he
a
going to
bit.
win 3 sets on Sinner in one fell swoop? Again, I think it's the same thing as the Zverev and Djokovic match that, like, I was leaning Djokovic if he was 100% physically, but Sinner, pretty obvious he's not 100% physically, so
Yeah.
I'm actually going to learn from my mistake, and I'm going to say Zverev's going to win because Sinner's not going to be 100%.
Well, that's
I
the
don't think
thing.
he will be.
That's the thing is we saw the physical concerns against Holger. He looked all right against Demon, but when I woke up to watch the last set of Sinner versus Shelton, and from what I saw, Sinner wasn't like struggling, but he was trying to end the points quickly. And he didn't want to mess around with Ben, get into a fourth set. He wanted no part of extending this match. He was trying to end it early. You could say he wanted to be fresh for the finals, but against a guy like Sasha, where I can't decide if that was like a tactical reason for him to play somewhat
For
yeah.
we're already calling him Sasha. You just
I
had to add on the
yeah.
extra her.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, but
sorry,
like
you are on a good point.
we were talking like Sasha. I don't know if that was like him strategically wanting to extend the points against Djokovic, because especially in like the break points, the pressure points, you could say it was Sasha's mentals, but he was not taking risks. He just wanted to get the ball in, not miss, not try to win the point, but his game plan was, I don't want to lose the point. So I don't know if that first set was him being like, I know I could outlast Djokovic. I know I could try to take his legs the first set, and this is going to ultimately make me win the match. It's going to be, that's a little different against Sinner, because Sinner is just, you could blow you off the court if you play conservative. Where I thought we both gave Ben a chance because we thought Shelton was going to take the risks. And then we were willing to take the chance on him converting those risks.
Well, he
And
actually, yeah, Shelton had his chances, and you sent me a clip or two that he was being passive if he was, his MO just being ultra aggressive, take the high risk, high reward shot, and delivered there, then the match's trajectory was different. But I think that as far as the Zverev approach against Djokovic, I think it made 100% sense. Like we all saw, we're not even Sasha Zverev, and we all saw like, oh yeah, Djokovic is actually injured. Whatever post. So Zverev's like, yeah, the first set, if I make it as long as possible, I'm just, make him earn the points and hit winners, and then, okay, second set, if he's still keeping that up, then maybe he would change his style. But I think playing the long game for Zverev made complete sense and ultimately kind of paid its dividends
Yeah,
for him.
but that's what my concern was about, because if he does that against Sinner, Jannik's going to take the match
I
because
think no, I think that he can adjust. I think that he can come out like that with Sinner, trying to, push him. Just I want to move him as much as possible, make sure he's 100%. If Sinner has to take a medical timeout or something, first or second set, then Zverev's gonna kind of know that maybe Plan A was working or something. I don't know,
but
or it could just be, you know, not until Sinner shows signs of injuries, which is definitely a possibility.
it's definitely a
Um,
possibility. That would be. I want Sasha to win a slam, but how I don't even know what adjective to call it, but like if Sasha wins his first slam off a
mhm.
Djokovic retirement in the semis, and then if like
Mm.
Sinner retired in the finals, that would be the worst
Uh,
way to win his first
that's
slam. Is like
true. He'd
a
he'd be
huge.
like,
If he had a huge asterisk on his first slam, like that would be
that
like
would
the
suck.
that would
That would
suck.
suck.
Like we said,
I
worst
hope
case
Sinner
scenario.
doesn't retire, but
I don't think it's a
play it
final.
out.
It's a final. He's at least going to play it out. I don't see him
Yeah,
quitting. Like he's going
yeah.
to play the match out, even if he's not 100%. He'll just stand there and lose. But man, that would be worst case scenario if Sasha finally gets a slam and it's like, well, you didn't technically like
Yeah,
you
that'd be
didn't win
terrible.
it. It was like you just didn't lose it, and that's what I want. Like I don't want Sasha to bank on Jannik failing physically. I want him
Mm.
to take chances. Because at this point in your career, Zverev, what do you have to lose? You have no slam to your name. You've lost two finals. Maybe third time's the charm. But like at this point, go for it. Do something different. Try to win the match. Like try to take the risk, and then like you can at least be like comfortable in yourself that you went for it. You gave everything you had and you didn't let the other guy win it. Like you tried to win it. And then if you came up short, it's not your day. It is what it is. But you can't just sit there and just hope Sinner beats himself, because odds are he's not gonna.
Well, what Sinner's gonna do differently than almost everyone on the planet that would play against Sasha Zverev is usually Zverev on his service games would just be like serve. Oh, they barely got it back. The point's over. And Sinner, the likes of him, all those. What makes these guys the top in the world is that 135 down the tee. No one's getting that. Sinner's getting it back and hitting it like relatively deep. So Zverev's like, okay, fuck. Now we're in a 30 shot exchange. So in
Yeah.
a way, it's actually good. You know, like Zverev gets into those exchanges, but it's more like out of necessity, and he's still good enough that he can maybe try to dig himself out of that, situation he wouldn't have wanted to be in if it were up to him.
Yeah. And that's what I don't want to see is I think we both said in our preview pods before the matches is that Zverev has what it takes. His tennis is good enough. It just comes down to the mental. It's like, can he play his best tennis in the pressure moments? From everything we've seen from Jannik, is that he can. He has somehow learned how to detach himself from the moment. Like Zverev, I feel like he's too aware
Mm.
of the circumstances surrounding the point, where you just need to not be a human and just be unconscious and just play tennis. And it's so easier said than done, because you have a massive crowd in front of you. You're in a Grand Slam final. You've worked your whole life to get to this moment. How are you just supposed to act like it's not a big deal? Because in Zverev's mind, it's been building up as such a big deal. because it's like that's his like cloud hanging over his head is like, I can't win the big one. I can't win a slam. And subconsciously that has been affecting him, which is like that's why I want him to get over this hump so bad and hurdle, because I think
Mm-hmm.
once he cracks through that, once he gets it, I think he's going to be an even better player, because now it's like
Agreed.
because
Agreed.
now it's like I don't care. I did it. I accomplished what I wanted to. I won a slam.
Mm-hmm.
Now the pressure's off. Now it's like you just play free.
It should only help him if he
Yeah.
wins it.
And
Agreed.
Zverev has that.
Because it's not going to do what it sometimes does to people. Oh, they won a Grand Slam, then it puts too much pressure on them, and then they
Yeah,
fold.
like can he follow it up? But like now it's like, can he win a slam? So like if he answers that question, now it's like how many slams can he win? And
Mm-hmm.
I think if he gets one, he could get like 4 or 5, like something crazy like that.
I was going to say, even if he loses in this final, I don't think that's the last final that he makes. And
Oh yeah,
I still like him to win a slam, at least one, obviously. But like
like in the
he was
next
this
two to
close
three
at the
years.
French
Yeah.
Open last year. If Alcaraz hadn't summoned God mode Alcaraz in that moment, he could have easily been the French Open champion,
Oh yeah.
up 2 sets to 1.
And I think
If Alcaraz had a dip and didn't summon what he needed to, Zverev was a deserving Grand Slam champion there.
he was up 2 sets to 1 on Alcaraz in there. And I think this matchup against Jannik also answers the question, if Zverev beat Medvedev last year in that insane 5 setter, would he have had the legs to beat Sinner? Would he have had the quality to him? Because, Medvedev had like an extra 10 hours or something crazy of court time over Sinner. Like nobody really gave him a chance there. Like Zverev, he had the legs under him to give Sinner a run for his money last year. Now we get to see, like, is resistance futile and Sinner is just the chosen one and he's too dominant right now? Maybe. I think if you're just looking previously based off what they've done, yeah, I'd trust Sinner way more. He's not going to beat himself mentally. He's not going to give up the free points or the costly errors. He's the most like consistent player we've seen, and his weapons are some of the most lethal we've seen. Sasha, like people were like, I even that one set against Djokovic just raised so many concerns. So it's like, can he overcome that? Can he play better? Can he live up to the quality he can possess? But I don't know if that's me wishing, or wanting, but I hope. I at least
No,
hope.
I I really don't think that Zverev's going to be outclassed at all in the matchup with Jannik. I think that if anyone can do it, it's him. And not only because he's the only player in the draw right now, but he's one of the few that, okay, Alcaraz, we've seen he has a chance. He's beaten him in the biggest moments this last year. This year, who's to say it's any different? Djokovic hasn't had his crack at center, but he will.
Oh yeah.
It's imminent that he will, and he's going to be out for blood when Djokovic sees him. And will Sinner just show, hey, I'm your game, but just better? He might. Matchups are important, right? But we'll have to wait and see on that one. But Zverev, you know, similar idea. He's shown, him and Alcaraz, that's a pretty even match. Alcaraz just at one of the craziest talents the sport's ever seen. So Zverev can only do so much, like
Yeah.
any mere mortal. And he still took him out last year in the AO, and very easily could have taken Medvedev out last year in the AO and seen Jannik in the finals. But instead, he has his chance now. And why not now? Like compared to 10 years ago, Zverev, or Zverev in 5 years, now is as good of a chance as he's ever had, or maybe ever will have. The future is unknown. Like, we can take educated guesses, but it's still a guess as to what the future holds in this sport. But
Yeah.
I would very much assume that Zverev he's taking a crack at it here. If he loses, fine. It's not going to be the last Grand Slam opportunity for him. Like, he has easily 5, maybe 8 something years of being at the top of the game. Like, I think that, again, like, my prediction is it's contingent on how Sinner is physically. Like, if
Yeah,
Sinner is not showing physical concerns, then I like Sinner winning in 4 sets. But if he is, then and Zverev can push it to be like a 5-setter, then got to give the physical edge to him.
I agree. And I think that's what's going to be a very important factor in this is how long can Sasha extend this match? Because if it gets into, if it's, I don't know what the weather is tomorrow, I probably should look that up. But if it gets into a fourth, fifth set, long sets to get there, a grueling match, I mean, how many times do we have to say that Zverev has unlimited fitness? We've never seen him break down physically. And I think is that the play to just extend this, make Jannik work for points, try to see if he can break down, see if he's human, not a cyborg. And I don't hate that angle from Zverev. That might be a safe approach. Maybe in certain points he's going to have to take more risks because at this point, what does Sasha have to lose? Nothing. Like go for it at this point. You already haven't done it. Like try to take risks, try to do something different, go for the big points, go for the shots because his baseline rally ball has incredible depth. The way he can continue points just without even trying to get the ball back, like him just getting the ball back in play is like most people can't hang with that rally ball. Sinner can, and he can use that and attack the point. But I mean, Sasha, if you look at the head to head, it's 4-2 Sasha. Sinner won the last matchup last year in Cincinnati. The last 4 times they played, Zverev won. I think Sinner's a completely different player since the last year. You got to give Sinner the edge. Being able to handle the big moments, his weapons, but it's early in the season, but this first slam in Australia is a grueling tournament. It's hot. You're coming off an off season. Like, how much did you work in the off season? Did you take a break? What's your conditioning like going into it? And I don't know. The thing is, like, I like both these guys, so it's hard for me to pick because I've been supporting Sinner and I liked him in like 2020 before he came into what he is now. And Zverev was like the original like young hot prospect that was like, oh, this kid might break.
Pause. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he was like the original like, oh, this kid's like 6'6", beautiful groundies, big time serve. Like he might break tennis, and he's been like in top 10 for so long, but he just can't. He doesn't win the big match to like the one you need to win, and there can only be one winner. So it's like,
Here's
what
here's
does he
my
have to
view
do to
on
be different?
Alexander Zverev. No. Ready? He has just one way or another just groomed himself throughout his career and just so painstakingly, and he deals with being a you know type 1 diabetic, and he has never been a factor at all. I doubt it ever will be. Doesn't matter. He's
Yeah,
rolling with those punches and had all these expectation, like, all right, so talented, so big, huge serve, etc. He's the future of tennis, and so many crushing losses, and been through the gauntlet and been at the top of the game, but never seen the very top of it. And right now is his chance. And I don't think it's going to be, like we talked about, he's going to have chance after chance after chance. And it's not about him, whatever sports bettors are saying, like, oh, he should have been more aggressive or something. It's like, obviously on his serve, he's like serve plus oneing, and then if someone can nullify that, then okay, you can only be so aggressive without just going for a stupid shot and losing the point. But like the way he's playing right now is Grand Slam material, and he's been playing like the 2020. He was the one that should have won that match, and thankfully, Team got it before he got injured. But Zverev, he's gonna have a Grand Slam. Come on,
Is now the time, though?
I hope so.
I hope so too, because I think that would be the best thing for tennis in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because having him validate,
It's not just a new Sinner and Alcaraz are now gonna be the new people that win everything.
exactly.
Instead of instead of Djokovic or Federer or Nadal winning everything, now it's only going to be Sinner or Alcaraz winning everything.
Yeah,
Can't have that.
And Zverev,
Last year was scary that way, but it was literally Sinner, Alcaraz, Alcaraz, Sinner.
It was almost
at
too
least
perfect.
Djokovic won the Olympics, but what the fuck?
It was almost too perfect. Like Djokovic is never going to win a slam again. It's only going to be these two guys. It's like,
yeah, for you, you're like, oh, thank God, the change of the guard is here.
I was like, please, no more Djokovic slams. I can't do it. Because part of me was like, do I want Novak to just win 30? like something absurd. And I was like, no, I don't actually. I want him to be as close to Federer and Nadal as possible. So even though the debate's over, I still want to debate. Like there's still somewhat of an argument, whatever angle you take in the argument, but that's a whole nother episode we could do. But
yeah.
I mean, I think we've said before, Sasha's paid his dues. I'm glad he gets the chance. I think he has the best chance against Sinner. The odds are set, like Sinner's like minus 300 to win this match.
Wow.
So that's a pretty big favorite. I think that's a little disrespectful for the...
I think I'm gonna actually sports bet for the first time in like two or 3 years. I'm actually bet that Zverev wins this.
You're
it's
going
gonna
to
be
take him to
voided
win
because
outright?
Sinner's gonna pull out with an injury. It's gonna be voided. He wouldn't do that. Sinner wouldn't do that in the finals. I think you said it right.
Yeah, exactly.
That would just be disrespect. Not even Djokovic would do that.
But I think I like the over 39.5 games. I like Zverev plus 1.5 sets. That way it hits in case it gets to 5. You don't have to stress out a fifth set. Because I think even if, like, throw out Sinner's physical concerns, if you just focus on the tennis, I think Sasha has the quality to hang in this matchup, to give himself a chance. And we're talking like, if Sasha plays his best, if he goes for it, he can win it. Like, this match for me, if you look at the odds, it's like, oh, Sinner's 100% going to win. And I think he has the edge too. But this is closer to like a 55-45 matchup for Sinner, 60-40, than what the odds are projecting, where it's like Sinner's most likely going to win. I think Sasha for sure has a chance. And that would set up an incredible year of tennis. Either way, I think the outcomes are okay for who wins the slam. I think Sinner being 1 away from Alcaraz, having 3, Carlos has 4. I think if Sasha gets his first, I think either of them elevate the game, elevate the top of the game, because now there's more on the line. Because now if Sinner...
would that mean that Zverev would become the third and it'd be a new big 3?
No, because I think Djokovic is still there. Because I think there's an asterisk of Zverev beating Novak, being like, Zverev, like if he was 100%, he could have won that match, because Novak at like 75-80% was hanging with Sasha. That's where I was saying before, where it's like,
so maybe
Sasha,
it'll be a big 4.
I'd be okay with that.
Medvedev is gonna ask questions, and Fritz probably not. Fritz is probably going to lose to Musetti for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Maybe it's Musetti. Maybe it's not Fonseca. Maybe it's Holger. But
I think Fonseca is going to be the missing piece, but not right now. In like
That's like 3 years
In
down
the
the
calendar
line.
year. It could be in the calendar year, man, or maybe 3 years down the line. But
Yeah,
Fonseca's the truth.
to actually win a Grand Slam and beat these guys, he's unfortunately far away. We're gonna have to wait on that one. And I think it's time to give our final predictions. Let's wrap this up. I think this is tough because I want both these guys to win. I think if Sinner plays his best, he wins. If he holds up physically, he wins. If what I've seen so far from both players, if it becomes over a 3.5 hour, 4 hour match, I think Sascha wins. And if we're betting this, I think I like the over 39.5 games because I expect at least one tiebreaker. And if that happens in the first 3 sets, both players win a set. That's prime to hit in 4 sets. But yeah, I think I'm taking Sinner to win in 4 because I don't think if it gets into a fifth,
Brave,
I think
so brave.
if it's Sinner in 4, he wins. But if it gets into a fifth, I trust Sascha physically more.
Yeah,
So I
he could
have
definitely do it. Sinner could definitely do it in 4. I'm gonna go Zverev in either 4 or 5. I can't think of it. I'm gonna go Zverev in 5. I'm gonna do a 5-set thriller. He's
I
gonna
would
come out on the good side of it this time. That's what I'm going with.
either way. Tennis needs a win. We need a good match. It would be
Yeah.
such a bummer if this was just 3-0 Sinner, and it's like,
Come
well,
on,
Sascha,
Sasha.
yeah, like Sascha, prove you could do it. Prove you're there. Prove it's right. Go for it, man. You're right there. Win a slam. Like, don't
He
hold
is.
back.
I don't see Sinner just dominating him. I don't.
I don't
I would be
either.
shocked if I saw that. I
I
think
know. I don't
Zverev's gonna
either.
hang with him, and Sinner's gonna be trying his best, but he is definitely not physically at his peak right now. And Zverev's gonna be 100% physically,
Yeah.
like, and obviously, you know, all these guys in the finals, they're not actually 100% physically, but like, by their own physical, you know,
Limitations.
pedigrees, whatever. Yeah.
But that's part of winning a slam is having a 2 week grueling long like of tennis. Being able to overcome that, to sustain this level of physicality, playing 5 sets a day every other day.
Zverev
That
can do it.
that's built
Can
into it.
Sinner do it again? I don't know. I'm going Zverev in 5.
All right, Jannik in 4. It feels good to finally back my boy again. I feel like I've been like low key rooting against Sinner, even though I'm like a huge Sinner fan. It's
You were
just
a
that
Sinner fan before he was the best in the world.
I know my Discord can
That's what
vouch
they
for
all
me.
say. I'm
Like
just kidding.
for years before, when he was like hovering around 15 to 20, when he first got on tour, I was like, this kid's got it all. If he figures it out, he could be at the top of the game. And now he's here, and
Hmm.
I'm like, well, he's winning too much. Like, it's like I kind of lost his luster. I like rooting for the guys to reach their potential, and it's like once they get there, it's like, we expected that. But tennis is a result and oriented sport. Tomorrow we're gonna write history, and will Sascha cement his name in tennis history, or will Sinner prove that he's still a force to be reckoned with and has many more slams to look forward to in his career? I can't wait. If you guys have been enjoying our Australian content this entire slam, please subscribe because there's only going to be more tennis to talk about this year. This is the best part of the year where we have a Grand Slam
Is
to.
Tsitsipas gonna win Monte Carlo again? Is Rublev gonna win Madrid? Is
Tsitsipas is
Cam
for
Norrie
sure.
gonna take out Alcaraz in Rio? Stay
Tsitsipas is for
tuned.
sure winning Monte Carlo. You can put that in the bank. His whole year is based on that tournament. But there's so much more tennis to talk about, Jeremy. It's been so much fun. And if you guys have been enjoying and want to talk tennis alongside us, please support the channel and follow along.